Hi, viewers. I welcome you to another episode of the Dynamic Discussion Podcast. Today, we have an interesting topic at hand we want to discuss. And here we have amazing people who are going to help us to dissect on this topic we have. I want to also introduce my co-host of today, which is Miss Tiana. Miss Tiana World of Beauty. Miss Tiana, say something to
Hello,
our viewers.
viewers. You all are welcome to another episode of Dynamic Discussion Podcast. Stay glued to your screen while we'll entertain you.
All right. I want to also specially welcome our guest for today. Right here, I have Nurse Emilia. Nurse Emilia, say something to our viewers.
Hi viewers, my name is Emilia. I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you.
All right. And we have another special guest in our midst. This is a man with vast experience, and I like his courage. When I was looking at the possibility of him making it to this show, when I called him on phone, he said, Mr. Pre, relax, I will be in your show today. So I'm so happy and so excited to see him here in this show. Please join me to welcome Mr. Chinonso.
Hello, viewers. Thank you for giving me the platform also to share my view.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chinonso. Today we really want to discuss on a particular topic. But before that, I cannot forget also to introduce myself. My name is Mr. Prince, your humble host for this show for today. Thank you so much. Nurse Emilia, just a topic we want you to help us to look into, you and Mr. Chinonso, which is DNA test, the 21st century homebreaker. I just want us to dissect on this topic. That's why we have amazing people here today. Thank you, Nurse Emilia.
Yes.
Tell us a little what you can say about the DNA test.
Okay, thank you. Okay, hi viewers. My name is Emilia once again. I'm here to talk on DNA. You know, a lot of you guys out there have been hearing about DNA, but have not given the thought to know the meaning. You know, DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid. Then deoxyribonucleic acid is a molecule that contains genetic information or instruction for the development, growth, or reproduction of organisms. Then we have DNA test. DNA test is done to confirm the genetic information or disorder of human being. It is also done to confirm paternity or maternity for legal purposes. You know, DNA test is also done for a variety of purposes. Number one, we have diagnosis, confirming or ruling out the disease or illness affecting one's health or child health. Sorry. Then we have family history. Family history is tracing the family history of an individual. We have information. Information when it has to do with a doubt of who the father of your child or children is. That is combining the suspected DNA to the biological DNA. You know, this DNA test is done with variety of samples, which includes we have blood, we have fingerprints, hair, fluid, so on and so forth. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for that explanation. But I would like to ask you, you as a medical practitioner, would you encourage DNA test at birth in your institution?
Okay, thank you. Based on that, I will encourage, as a health practitioner, I will encourage DNA tests in my facility. If there is a particular illness or disease affecting child health, you understand, I will encourage DNA. And secondly, like I mentioned, for information, if there is a suspected act, you understand, or infidelity, okay, DNA is required for confirmation. You understand? Like, let me take this my patient for example.
Okay.
You know, I was in a conversation with one of my patients. She told me that during delivery, that the nurse midwife told her that she gave birth to a male child, sorry. Then only about 5 hours after her delivery, maybe she wanted to change the baby's diaper or so, according to her. Then she find out that her baby is a female baby. So they were like doubting, how is it possible? So I encouraged that DNA. So when that DNA was out, it was confirmed that they are the biological parents of that child. You understand? In that kind of situation, I encourage DNA tests as a health practitioner. And sorry, there is another one. Let me just give you this example for you to understand what I mean. I have this couple, you know, who happen to be dark in complexion. The husband is dark in complexion and the wife is dark in complexion also. So she gave birth. The child happened to be an albino child. It was causing a lot of problem.
Wow, it should cause a problem.
I'm telling you, it was causing a lot of problem. The husband was like rejecting the baby, like it's not my baby, it can be and all that. So when the news got to me, I encouraged them for DNA tests. After the DNA test was being done, when the result came out, it happens to be that that child is their biological baby.
Wow.
You understand? In this kind of case, I encourage DNA as a health practitioner. You understand?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Chinonso, I would like to ask you this question. From what you just explained so far to us, and give an example of our patients who had a similar issue about, DNA. Now, in a situation whereby you, as the husband, your wife comes to you maybe after delivery, she now said that during when I was in the labor room, I noticed that I had a male child. Why is it that what I am seeing now is a female child? So, if your wife explained that to you, how will you handle such kind of situation?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Prince. But before I come to this your question, there is this question that I've been trying to nurture, or probably further explanation from our nurse here.
So she mentioned something of that she encouraged the DNA test for a particular reason. So now, this case, there have been two cases that she's mentioned here. So what I want to know, does it mean that DNA test is rather subjected to a particular type of incident rather than a general knowledge of it, of having to identify
whether the child is yours
paternity of a child or whatever? So is it subject to a particular incident of the one you mentioned that the baby they thought that the baby was not their baby and then they just had to do it? I mean, is that the only reason for it? Because you said that you advise
Yes.
for that particular incident.
Because there was a lot of arguments. There was
So
a family conflict.
So does it mean that you are not in support or you don't advise for other reasons for DNA?
No, like I mentioned, there are variety purposes for that particular DNA.
Okay.
I just say this based on example.
You
What
particularly mentioned it, that particularly that for that reason that you really advise for that particular, because I just want to know, there are some sort of in fact it's a controversial something.
Okay.
People have different views of this DNA.
Yes.
Some people say that it's
I think
bad,
I understand
some
what
people say that
Mr.
it's
Chinonso is trying to say.
And I even heard, I don't know whether it exists, that there are some even laws of consent.
Yes,
DNA
before
testing.
carrying on with
So,
it.
She now mentioning that she advised that that particular incident
Yeah.
is the one that probably need the DNA. Does it mean that in terms of suspect of infidelity, suspect of maybe the second one that she mentioned of the baby not looking like the father.
Like the
It
father.
could be in character, it could be in physical
A physical appearance.
So, I mean, you think that it's subject to some incidents or it should be done generally?
You know, it should be done generally. The reason why I mentioned that earlier on, you know, I brought out cases that I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That was why I made mention of that encouraging DNA test, because there was a lot of family conflicts on during that period. So that was why I mentioned that DNA test. If you can understand, that doesn't mean there are not other reasons
Okay.
for DNA test, or you cannot run a DNA test for your own personal confirmation or personal things. You understand? So that was why when I was narrating this story, I said, let you understand where I'm heading to.
Okay, no, sorry to cut you off. Prior to what Mr. Chin also said earlier, so please, I would like to know, this DNA we are talking about is a very controversial topic in the society. You understand? So I would like to know, before conducting this test, are the two partners supposed to agree on that?
Definitely, they're supposed to agree.
I mean, what I'm trying to ask, is it right for a partner to go behind the partner to go and conduct that test? Is it legally right?
You know, it's based on it depends on your reason.
Okay.
Like DNA, there are some people that will go and run DNA. You might decide to run a DNA test on your own
without informing your
peace of
partner.
mind, yes.
Okay.
Informing
But
your
is it good
so
as
your
your
doing it? Like there are laws guiding this particular DNA of a thing. Law of obtaining consent from your partner.
Okay.
You know, for legal purposes.
Mm-hmm.
If you are filing for divorce, if you are doing any other thing, or based on immigration purpose or whatever, do you get? So you can, when you are doing this particular DNA, if there are law chain of custody.
Okay. Sorry, nurse, please hold your words. I'm sorry to cut you off. But then, this particular partner, like these partners I'm talking about now, let's say we all know that DNA tests can be very catastrophic. It can cause a whole lot of mess in every home. So are you telling me that it is right for a partner to go behind his partner, knowing the after effects might be very bad for the home? Are you telling me as a medical practitioner that you will advise that, or you will ask for both consents?
You can take a horse to the stream, but you cannot force the
Okay, in a situation whereby the partner doesn't agree.
That's what I said. It depends on what you are fighting for. It depends on an individual. What maybe, okay, let me just take this for example. You know, a man marries he got married to a lady. At a point, he find out that those children were kind of not his. You understand? Mm-hmm. You wanted to be sure. You can decide to go and do DNA tests without informing your partner. That one is for your peace of mind. You can't take that particular DNA
because you have already sensed infidelity.
Okay, please clear me on this. So you mentioned that there was a law of consent to this DNA.
Yes.
Now my question is, when there is a law, there is a penalty for defaulting the law.
Yes, exactly.
So does it mean that if
me maybe suspect somehow that there is something that is happening, and then maybe I talk to my partner about it, and then
okay, let me just say, for my own peace of mind, just like you mentioned, I just go ahead to just do it without the consent of my partner, and probably she later finds out that I have come to done this. Does it mean that the hospital that I've gone to, she had the right to report me to them, and maybe they hold the result, or they will not even accept to do? Because of course I know that there is a huge sum
I
to
understand where you are heading to. Like, you can decide to run a DNA test without your partner knowing, for your own reason, best known to you. You understand? Now, like I said earlier, there are laws and requirements guiding this particular DNA.
So if I don't have the consent with facilities accept my request of doing the DNA?
Maybe probably during that DNA test, maybe they might ask you, there are questions that you need to answer. You understand?
Sorry, okay, Mr. Prince wants to say something.
Please. You have not answered my question.
Okay. Sorry.
So I just want us to follow it sequentially.
Okay.
Now, I asked you a question based on the prior explanation nurse gave us. She gave us an example of her patients. Now, if you were in that case as a husband, your wife reported to you that in the labor room, I noticed that the nurse told me that I have a male child. But later I found out that it was a female child. Now you, considering that maybe there are no evidence within the facility or within the labor room, so to say, now that particular place, maybe there's no CCTV camera. Now you, in order to ascertain what actually happened or the truth about the whole thing, what decision will you take?
Well, since there is no probably camera or any way to know, I think the only way to do or to ascertain that I'm really the father to the baby or that my wife is actually sure or not sure, but it's just to
Run the test.
DNA test. I think that is just the simple thing. Because me, as much as some people have longing for a particular gender of child or baby, right? Someone male, someone. So out of this thing, somebody can give birth to a female where they want a male, and because it's something in the mind, and at that stage she's not very very stable.
Yes,
she can just say it. But then for me also as a man, I might be like I want. Also, so if I feel that is what we've always wanted, and there may be chance of foul play, of course I will want to further run the DNA test to be sure that what she's saying.
Okay, Mr. Chinoso, please let me quickly ask this before we move on to the next question. Nurse Emilia mentioned earlier about having a legal law that is backing the conduction of DNA tests. So I want to ask you, do you think such laws should be abolished?
Actually, she have said that from her own view and her profession. Maybe it's a requirement, but of course, for me, it's a law that I don't even know whether it is. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, right? So I don't know whether it exists or not. Because me, if I should sense or feel any sort of foul play or infidelity or whatever, or even look at my child and be like, why is this boy acting this way?
That should be directed to
I will have to.
No, I'm not going to ask Nurse that because she's under the medical field.
I don't know. I don't know whether the law exists for now, but whether it's existing or not, I think that for my own sanity,
yes,
if I should feel somehow biased or somehow
about your child,
of course I have to just run it. And consent or no consent, I mean, I'm the one that have to pay the law.
Of course,
not even the government subsidizing it.
Yes.
So I think that is. I'll just go ahead with the.
Okay, thank you for that clearance.
Putting this together because I've been thinking within my head. I've just been thinking in a situation because all this whole thing is just to prove the paternity or the maternity of a child, just to find out everything. If the child is truly the biological child of a particular parent. Now, in a situation whereby you have, because I've heard this word before, fraternal twins. Now, in a situation whereby you have two different sperm to fertilize two different egg in a woman, would there be different DNA?
Okay, in the case of fraternal twin, though Israel cases, it's possible, but kind of rare.
Yes, I've actually heard about that.
Yeah, it's kind of possible, but it's rare. That fraternal twin is as a result of two different eggs that is being fertilized by two different sperm cells in a woman during the same pregnancy.
Okay.
And those fraternal twins, they are kind of boy, girl. They are not mostly boy, boy, girl, girl. So they are no kind of look alike. And when those children are born, they are more likely to come out with two different placenta,
Okay.
unlike identical twins.
Okay.
So it's possible to get two different DNA.
Okay, let me ask a question. You mentioned about different sperm cells. So I believe for every intercourse, once there is orgasm, rather to say, I think that there are millions or rather billions of sperm cells. I mean, they are individual cells. Right?
Yes.
And for any reason that an egg have to accept him, or that one have to run, as they say that they run and run and run until the one that is stronger will have to catch the race. So anyone that merges with the egg and the egg accepts,
Mm-hmm.
I think that one already have his signature of DNA. I mean, it's really his own DNA.
It's already
And
defined.
probably, I mean, of course, you are the professional. I'm just
Okay.
talking from general aspect of it, right? So the story of having two partner or from different, I mean, is it like, of course
Okay.
I've had, of this party called orgy party, whereby there are multiple
Sex partners,
in one
yes.
environment, I mean, at the same time. So does it mean that it's in that case, or that just for billions or millions of sperm cells that have find their way into the vagina, all fighting and rushing into the to catch up with an egg, or probably the woman is so does it mean that once those ones moving and an egg accept one, and then another person comes in and do the same thing, that there will also be a window for another egg to accept? I mean,
Okay.
I'm just trying to bring
Yeah,
it down to our
yes,
you
yes.
you're the
No, please,
professional.
could you clear us on
I
that?
understand where you are going to. But before I start saying something, I would like to give you example, like facts, for you to understand where I'm heading to. Okay, based on what you said. Okay, let me just tell you this. I have watched a woman can meet a man in a day during her ovulation. You understand? Can also meet without her knowing that she is pregnant already. She
Okay.
can also meet another Man.
The same day.
the same day,
Yes.
approximately the same time.
Sorry, no, sorry. I have to cut you off because I don't understand this at that point.
Okay.
You said a woman can know she's pregnant.
No, I
without
just say
knowing.
without knowing.
Okay, without knowing.
Yes.
That means she didn't meet the man that day.
No.
Okay.
A woman can wait. Let me take it one after the other.
Please do.
A woman can be in her ovulation. She can decide to meet a man. You understand? After meeting a man, she might meet another man the same day,
The same day.
but approximately the same time, without her knowing that she's pregnant. Okay, let me tell you a story of this because I have watched a documentary of this Brazilian mother who happens to give birth to a twin, and she decided to take their DNA. She informed the father, who she thought that happened to be the father of those children. When the DNA was done, the first twin tested positive, while the second twin tested negative.
Wow.
It was on that time that she remembered that she had sex with another man
Okay.
that day,
That's-
but approximately, same time.
Okay.
You understand? And she caught the other man. And when the sample of that man is being collected for DNA, the first baby tested positive, while the second baby tested negative.
Okay.
You understand? So in that case, those children are called heteropaternal superfecundation.
Okay.
That's
That's a whole lot.
Yes.
That is a whole lot.
So to clarify the doubt. So it's actually possible.
Okay, if I may add, normally, just like you said, twins coming out with the same placenta usually come out identical. I mean, like same gender,
Yes.
male, female. And once it's maybe boy, girl, something, it means that it's different. So, which means that, well, I don't know, their DNA will test rather with the same father, if it's the same father that
Yes,
receiving, right?
yes.
Okay. Because let it not be that if it's two different, I mean,
No,
non-identical,
no.
it means that it's different partners.
No.
You understand? Okay.
No,
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you for the clarification.
No.
But in as much as the fact I'm thanking you, I'm still not really clear on something that you said. So, Nurse, could you please clear me a little bit? You said the woman, she doesn't know she's pregnant, and then she went ahead. Like she had, let me say for example, she had sex this morning, and then in the evening she met another man and had sex.
So,
remember I said
yes, please.
approximately same time.
Same time.
Yes.
When you say same time, are you saying it's the same hour? I want to
Not
understand.
same hour.
Okay, okay.
A woman can, you know, there are women that is good in double dating.
Of course.
You understand?
Yes.
When you are dating a man, you will have sexual intercourse with that particular person during your ovulation hour.
Mm-hmm.
So on that process, maybe you are coming out from your boyfriend's house.
Mm-hmm.
So you now branch to the other guys. You
Okay.
understand? To have sexual intercourse with that person.
Okay.
Without you knowing that you are pregnant.
Okay.
You understand? Without her knowing that something has happened.
My clarification here is that she's already pregnant, but it didn't happen that day. That's I want to be clarified.
It happens that day. That is what I'm trying to understand. That's what I want you to understand.
So it just rather it happened.
But you can't have sex today and be pregnant today. It doesn't
During
happen
your
that way.
ovulation, that is what I'm
Once
saying.
once the egg receives it, you're already pregnant. So it's just a matter of time before the
Yes,
manifestation.
exactly. That's what I
But
want.
once it has entered, it has entered. So counting of 2 weeks pregnant, 1 month, it started in an hour or in a minute.
Thank you.
So if another person should have an intercourse, another hour.
Thank you for that.
All right. No, seriously. No, with all these things you have explained so far, do you think that a DNA test is always accurate? Are there cases of maybe a kind of error and all the rest of them?
Based on this question, you understand. You can't say everything is perfect. You understand. There are always a first negative and there are always a first positive.
Okay.
So I can't just guarantee you 100% that DNA is. You understand?
Okay, let's say that. Okay, let's say that you said there is always a first positive. Thank you very much.
Is it
So what
always
if?
or sometimes?
Okay.
Sorry, sometimes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chiloso. Thank you for hitting on that. Yes, because if it's always, that means there's a problem. Okay, let's say, for example, Nurse Emilia, that this family ran a DNA test on their child.
Understand with the consent of both partners, and then at the end of the day, the hospital that conducted it, the result was false. You understand? Mm-hmm. They didn't give a clean result. The result was false. And then at the end of the day, later, they called back this family to apologize for giving them a bad result. You understand? What do you think will happen to that family receiving the first result?
My dear, that is good to advise. If you are running a test, apart from DNA test, if you are running any kind of test, before you will now get your facts or before you will now agree on that particular test, you have to run it in another facility.
Okay.
You understand? To get your facts.
Okay.
To get your, you will not compare the two results.
Okay.
Definitely you will
Okay, I like that answer. Thank you very much. Okay.
Especially the one that involves a lot of money.
Yes. Because DNA is not something you play with. It's something that can destroy a family in seconds. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you this question. Now, in a case whereby a particular family ran DNA test and it tested negative, what advice can you give? How can you advise them to handle that situation?
It's another thing altogether. Hey, but anyways, what I'm saying in this, like I told you, before you will not conclude on something, you have to try. before you now, as in before you know, when DNA test comes out negative, it's another thing altogether.
Of course, it's another drama
I'm telling
altogether.
you, it's another thing.
And a very, very horrible drama at that.
It's another thing altogether. But well, before you carry out what you have in mind, you know, when DNA tested negative, there must be a change or abnormalities. You understand? And you cannot act based on what you have gotten. Hey, I will kill this woman today, this, blah, 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 and all that. Before you unleash your anger on your partner, just try and clarify yourself. Run that DNA test in another facility or center. You understand? And get your facts before they walk.
So what if they run in another facility and then it's still the same thing? What can you
My
do?
dear, the advice I'm giving.
Yes.
The advice, honest advice I'm giving viewers out there. You know, I'm advising you both couples for a perfect counseling session or a good conflict management skills is needed at that moment.
Okay.
You understand? There must be a hearsay. You hear from this partner, you hear from this partner, you will try and calm the situation down. When they book a session for counseling, I believe, as in the whole thing will be. I think they will understand.
Okay. They will understand. But then we are talking about infidelity.
Okay, can I just chip in something?
Yes, please.
And rather than talking the after effect, why don't we just say that? Just don't go to another partner. I mean, because we are all human beings. I mean, when it's happening to another person, it's something you can really advise.
Yes.
But if
But when
it's happening to you
directly,
oh Lord,
yes.
you know, I mean, this is something. I mean, why don't we just say, do not do it, rather than trying to quote it? I mean, it's bad and it's bad.
It's bad because we're talking about infidelity here.
Yes.
You think that conflict management is something will actually solve issues?
Okay. Just out of context, let me just say something. Did you know that duress? I mean,
yes, I know.
You know duress, right? Let me not explain what it is. But duress conducted a kind of random test, data analysis. They said that Nigeria came out of 35 countries. Their women, rather, most the people that I mean, the infidelity level in Nigeria is higher than that others of 35 countries. I mean, I don't know how they got this thing, but of course they really did it, and I don't know how they came about this result. But I mean, to talk about it, it's really something. But then this is for females, and there is this general knowledge of Nigerian men. Okay, let me say Nigerian men rather than African. That our traditions, cultural values and all that have given men. I mean, this test is conducted for females.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the general knowledge of it, our own culture here in Nigeria, or maybe let me say the Igbos, they support their men. I mean, not that they support literally, but they give them that kind of courage or some sort of enablement.
Entitlement.
Yes, that they can actually cheat and come back. And nothing will happen. Rather than if a woman does, it's a bigger problem.
It's a very big problem.
Nobody wants to hear it.
The woman is going back to her father's house. Yes.
So, I mean, this is happening here and that is happening. I mean, do this a popular this thing that everybody knows. Come out with this result about females, and we, the men also, or rather everybody here is saying that the cultural value of our own ethnicity is enabling mostly men to go out. I mean, you can marry more than one wife. A man in marriage will go out and do something, and when the meeting is called, they will say, it has happened, woman, calm down.
A man will always be a man.
A man will always be. But when it happens, I mean, you understand?
Mr. Chinonso, please. You talking about this, I actually remember something I would like to ask you, because it's more like a general knowledge. Everybody says this and everybody feels it. So please, I would like to ask you.
Why is it that, why does people always think that women cheat more than men?
I mean, this DNA thing, it always hits the women.
Yes.
It hits them differently, on a different level.
This one is very controversial, and there can never be an accurate answer for this. I mean, but I'll still share my view.
Okay, let me put it this way. DNA test, it always favors the men more than the women.
What's your opinion on that?
My opinion is, let's face it squarely. If a woman cheats, he's also cheating with a man.
Yes.
I mean, most cheats are mothers, husbands, wives, sisters, uncles. I mean, these all comes back to male and female
Yes.
gender. So talking about favoring the men is because in our own cultural value, a man have to go and marry a woman, and a woman bears his name,
Exactly.
comes into his house.
Mhm.
So it's more like a man is the one that have brought you in. So that's why I think our culture cut some lapses for men when it happens to them. Because
A whole lot
if I buy
of a whole lot.
if I buy a car, I drive my car anyhow.
Somebody might just come out and just give me an advice that the way you are driving this car.
But if another person drive the same car and it's not me, what will happen? Everybody will come and start telling me, this guy never give this guy. I mean, let's just bring it back to what I'm saying.
Yes.
So when a woman does that,
Mm-hmm.
everybody comes in and be like, whoa, this woman, she's
Exactly. Shame on her. It's always on
I
them.
mean, that's just it.
But at the end
But
of
do you
the
think
day,
it's fair to the women folks out there?
I mean, just like I said earlier about the test, I mean, it's not satisfied. It's not. I'm not really. But what I'm saying is that since these people came out with the test and said that, okay, let's come back to this DNA. Then this smart DNA is a very famous facility here in
I've heard
Nigeria.
about it,
Okay, now from from July 2023 to June of this year, 2024, they came out with the result that 27% of all tests, paternity tests, came out negative. Now,
if you now divide it mathematically, you see that out of 4 men, 1 is not the biological father of their child. I mean, so what will you have to say about it? I mean, it has to do with infidelity also from both women and men. I mean, because it's also a man that is still the father of the boy or the child.
Yes.
So I mean, this is something that is you cannot attribute
to just women that they are the worst or that the men are the worst.
Thank you. But my point is that because our society has this thing that women, they are always the cheaters. You understand?
But they also forget that men most sometimes they cheat. You understand?
Sometimes.
But not sometimes. But thank you for that. Thank you for that. And now, when it comes to that DNA, you find that the women suffer a whole lot when it comes to that.
Sorry. Let me just make it rather
on this one. Okay. Let's just come down to another illustration. When a master does something wrong in the house, I mean, it's not really very, the intensity of whatever that will happen is not so much. But when a kind of lower this thing, more like a slave or a child or even a wife does the same thing, I mean, there might be some bigger lashes on the person. Now, why I use this master and rather wife and others is because in our own culture here, a man is seen as the head. You understand? So most times when you say that people say that women are like this when they do all this kind of thing, I mean, rather than have the lash at men,
yes,
you can just say that it still comes back to the
cultural value. Here in our culture, I mean, it's not the fault of, but I mean, what is bad is bad. Once you have a partner, you should stick to your partner.
Of course.
Both male and whether you marry the woman with 100 million or you marry her, I mean,
there should be this something of knowing that it's also a heart that we are dealing with. So I'm not supporting men, I'm not supporting women to cheat.
What is bad is bad. But I'm saying that even our own culture enables men to do it because it causes them a lot of lapses and it enables them in some sort of aspect of it. Now, not that women are better. They also do. But in my own view, I would say that most times
it's always, I mean, 90%, if not 95%. I mean, this is my own view. I'm not taking from any statistics, please, viewers. Permit me, this is my own view. So, in my own view, like I said, 90 to 95%, as much as I have seen.
I have friends, I drive around, I see things happening. it have always been men. I mean, with this my this thing, it have always been men that have to approach women.
Okay.
Probably buy gifts and do this and keep pushing and pushing.
Of course, of course.
You understand? So if I would say that it's also the men that make these things most times to happen. But just that, I mean, some excesses will make some women to like give in or whatever. So I mean, nobody should do it.
You know, Mr. Shilon, so why I'm actually asking you that, because breaking it down, women are always take the blame, you understand? But sometimes, in most situations, in most families, when you look into it, you find out that sometimes it's not actually the woman's fault. Do you understand?
I mean, if there should be a DNA test, it's only one thing that has to happen.
Yes.
Is this baby my child? I mean, most times it's the man. I mean, how many times have you seen a woman say that they want to run a DNA test on a child? I mean,
no, it's always the men.
So that's why the women have to take the blame, because the man will say, this boy that is behaving like this for some set of infidelity. Is this boy? And they are the ones that always have to do. So you can say, just like the smart DNA said that 27% of the whole test came out negative, which means that most of these men are not the father. No. So women have to take the blame because they are the ones that would have gone out to meet somebody.
Now, I want us to look in this direction. In some cases, we have looked different cases, but I want us to look it in this direction. Now, can we say that sometimes women cheat, women who are married cheat or get pregnant because of less performance of the man they married in order to see that they have a child? You know, by so doing now, when you run a DNA test in some of these cases, you will see that maybe it will turn out to be negative on the other side. So in this case, will it be seen, because there are some situations married women go and cheat with the intention because they want to have a child, because the man they marry cannot perform very well to make them to conceive. That's why they want to, every woman who is married is always fulfilled when they have their own child.
Of course.
So in such kind of situation, the man is not aware that this woman has gone to, have pregnant outside. Now, maybe she's doing it because she has been waiting, she's not seen anything, she just did it without the consent
of the husband.
Now, maybe as time goes on, the man began to see some certain things in the child, in some certain features. He began to doubt and say, maybe this child is not my child. Can we go and run a DNA test? In such kind of situation, will it be seen that women will you see it as the fault of the woman?
Okay, I will ask you a question. I mean, I'm coming back to you, but this my question is really important. Okay. For the fact that you wake up, you see your wife, you see your children, they are all hungry, and there is no money in your pocket.
Yes.
And you feel so sorry for them because you love them so much and you can't afford to see them hungry. And then you go to a bank, carry a gun and start shooting, and you want to rob because you want to feed them, and then the police catch up with you. What will happen? I mean, there is no excuse to going contrary to the law. Mm-hmm. What is bad is bad. Mm-hmm. Marriage is certified by law.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. It's approved by law. Mm-hmm. So you cannot tell me that you have to go out of it. There are some things that you do. I mean, if you want to do that, probably there are people that will always have to have a meeting with their partner and say, look at what is happening. Mm-hmm. If you feel that your partner, I mean the male or the, I mean it can be anyone.
Anyone,
right?
Whether female,
who is
male.
The problem, talk to your partner.
Yes.
See what you've noticed.
Yes.
If the man is the problem and the woman feels is the
Thank
man,
you.
talk to your husband.
Yes.
And then, if really there is actually a problem that may not be solved, then there are other ways also to go about it.
Exactly.
Now, nurse, I want you to look.
Because going to meet another man to get pregnant, I think is totally off.
Yes. Nurse, I want you to look into this. In some cases, women get angry when their husband requests for a DNA test. What do you have to say on that?
Anyways, I did not see the reason why you would be angry for the DNA test if you are sure that those children are your husband's children. So I did not see the reason why you would be angry on it. I don't know if you're getting me. But a lot of women out there, they are mostly scared of the outcome.
Why
would they be scared? I mean, what is there to be scared of?
What is there to scare them?
What is blue is blue.
Thank you. What is pink is pink. Thank you, Mr. Chinonso. Yes. No, what is there to be scared? That is where infidelity comes in.
Yes, you know, a lot of women used to complain that, but based not to them, based on their reasons, you know, it's based on individual differences. You may be complaining of, your husband is not good on this, he's not giving you attention, he's not this, he's no commitment, he's not always there for you, blah blah blah, and all that. That was there. That I believe some women, mostly women, that's their own excuses. And my husband is not always there with me. My husband is not giving me attention. My husband is not good. You understand? When during the do, it's not good. There are no commitment. But what I have to say in this is, like Mr. Sin also said, what is blue is blue.
Of course.
What is black is
It's
black.
black.
You understand? If you think that your husband is not giving you attention, my dear, you need to talk to him.
Yes.
Have a mutual understanding with him.
Mhm.
You understand? If he's not giving you time, you make sure you discuss it. You settle it with him. Whatever the problem is, me, I'm not in support of all these infidelity, conflict, infidelity, this thing in a marriage. I'm not in support on it. You understand?
Nurse, can I just chip in something? Just in support of what you're saying. Now, there are this belief or orientation that sex before marriage is wrong. Now, I think this is controversial. I mean, everybody and their belief. But of course, some religion have made it that you should not do this. Now, I mean, if you want to buy, I mean, most times when you want to go and purchase a vehicle, most times they will give you keys to drive it around. And they will ask you, did it give you
what you want?
Expected? Right? Now, talking about this, he's not satisfying me and he's not this in bed or this. I mean, what did you not do something? I mean, I'm talking from my own view. Did you not do something before you
Consented
to marry?
I mean,
Based on what Mr. Chinonso is saying, let me come in this. You know, there are some men out there, they are just mean, honestly speaking. As in, I have to be honest. They are just mean to the wife. When your wife, in a situation whereby your wife will be complaining to you, you are not doing what you're supposed to do. You know, during the time of sexual intercourse, some men will just back, enter just like that. Before you know it, everything. You understand what I'm trying to say? I don't need to voice out sometimes.
But
We're talking about the difference. We're talking about marriage is sacred.
let's just face it clearly. There is something called divorce.
Yes.
And there are many, if not thousand reasons of divorce, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
there are people that just wake up one morning and they say that they no longer like the way their husband behave when they don't kiss them in the morning. I mean, it happens.
Okay.
I mean, how can my husband come back from work? He did not hug me. It means that